जन गण मन अधिनायक, जय हे भारत संविधान, भारत भाग्य विधाता। जम्मू कश्मीर हिमाचल पंजाब हरियाणा राजस्थान दिल्ली उत्तर प्रदेश उत्तराखंड बिहार गुजरात महाराष्ट्र द्राविड़ आंध्र तेलंगाना कर्नाटक केरल वंगा विंध्य हिमाचल तावी यमुना गंगा सरस्वती ब्रह्मपुत्रा। गाहे तब जय गाथा, सर्वधर्म भारत नागरिक भारत विधाता। जनगण मंगल दायक, जय हे भारत संविधान, भारत भाग्य विधाता। तब शुभ नामे जाए, तब गुण गाए। जनगण मंगल दायक, जय हे भारत संविधान, भारत भाग्य विधाता। जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे जय भारत। वंदे मातरम। सुजलम सुफलम मलया शीतलम सहस्या श्यामलम मातरम वंदे मातरम। जय भारत, जय संविधान। This is Suraj Singh, IntPE, India, Bharat. Chartered engineer under Royal Charter, Institution of Engineers India 1935 Royal Charter, Chartered engineer, civil, and fellow member of Institution of Engineers. Just for information, gentlemen, dear friends, this is today 5th of February, March, 5th March 2020, another day, and construction quality. A construction project means your lifelong earning. Your whole life savings are spent on your housing for common citizens of this country. More than 60% of the earnings of life go to your house as far as a common person is concerned, common citizen is concerned. And it's not only in this country, it's all over the world. Housing is not that easy. And when you are thinking to buy a house, you are just thinking to buy a house for purpose of possession. You never question quality of materials and quality of construction that has been inducted into that unit. If you are very rich, you are having pride that I am very rich, then you don't care for anything. You think you can buy anybody or someone. But when you are not rich, you are concerned. But your concern has got no solution, because those who are in this profession of promotion of projects or builders or whosoever they are, they keep you in tension all time. And they force you to an extent that you always think, okay, anyhow or howsoever I get possession of that, and that's your destiny, rather than getting or expecting quality product from that person. Quality goes off from your list, and you only are concerned, okay, I get this at least. Means you are forced to accept whatever they deliver. That's where binding up. This is actually engineering business. Promotion of projects, promotion of buildings, promotion of houses, promotion of commercial centers, promotion of city, promotion of development, whatever you can say that. And we are 140 crore people Means we are a big market for housing, and these people who promote, they know how to loot us. One is increasing price of your housing and then say, obliging on you that we have delivered your house. In that case, quality factor remains in darkness. I am asking you, you may be having lakhs of people buying house or planning to buy house. How many did you question quality issue when you go for registration of your unit? I am sure none of you raises that question. You are only interested to get house first, and after that you can't do anything. And these people know it very well. They know it very well. This is your problem. You are under compulsion to buy whatever they deliver to you, and that is where we fail. Again, I tell, when you buy even 10 rupees item or 5 rupees item, you expect some quality in market. But here you are paying lakhs and millions and crores. You never question quality. You just see, when you buy a car, you see what color it is, what seats are there. Means you never ask bhp of engine. You never ask rated speed of car. Similarly, in housing, you buy house, you never question anything. You are only concerned my money should be safe. You are not concerned about standard of product that person sells. And this weakness of people, they know it very well. And if you used to talk of government sector, that's rubbish. And private sector has come down equivalent to government sector, even below that. This is a problem of people, and these people are enjoying that problem. They have looted trillions of rupees from you and you're disappeared. It's because of the craze of housing, nothing else. It's a created competition market because of public weakness. And public expressed their weakness and they paid money to these promoters and builders, and these people have looted you, just telling you, I'll use Italy tiles, I will use Kohler's sanitary units, I will using typhoid, I will use this and that. Just be fooling you. I will use jacuzzi, I will use this swimming pool, I will use that. And you are just be fooled by these people. And that is important issue to be discussed in this project management talk, because project management is responsible for quantity as well as quantity in time. Project manage means there are so many factors which cover project management, but three factors are very important, and that is cost, quality, and time. Here, cost varies during whole period, from day when you book your house and pay advance, and that time when you take delivery, you have to pay a lot, varying amount, no fixed amount. This cost factor is looted in this case. And then you go to quality factor. I think none of you questions quality, and they write anything, they write something on catalogs, this best quality, this quality, that quality. Not even 0.05% people question it. And about time, I think there is no value of time in our country, because people have plenty of time. I think only value they have plenty of time, which should be reversed. Otherwise, time is very important, significant factor in life, because you have fixed life, fixed time. You have one day, everybody has to go, but we don't care for time. So these three factors are only on papers in management, that is cost, time, and quality. We never care for these as far as our product of housing is concerned. We care for this only for very small items like vegetable, like bread buying, like something else. You have to buy a pen, you have to buy a computer, you have to buy a mobile. For this, you are very much concerned which units or which gadgets have only limited period of 2 or 3 years, 4 or 5 years. You very concerned of car which is a maximum of 5 to 10 years. These are very important factors we have to take into our consideration. And being a citizen of this country and being a professional, I advise you to be serious about these. After all, it's your whole life saving, and even if you take loan, you have to pay throughout your life. pay back EMIs throughout your life. Our weaknesses must not be allowed to be used by these havens who loot banks as well ourselves, and we allow them freely because we are not sure of housing. Whenever I talk to someone, why don't you construct your own house? They say it's not possible for us, we cannot do it. So we either give it to promoter or builder, or we buy through builder. This option is there. You are not valuing about your money. Your money is not valued. You are just say roof is on my head and that is my destiny. And that's right to some extent also. Well, I'm just creating a background here just to tell you why I'm interested in talking about project management to you guys. So it's not your subject. Yes, it applies to your life and it impacts your life adversely. It impacts every middle class and every lower middle class, and also those lower profile who think to get a house. All these lower profile people who don't have too much money, but they think they must get a house. It's smaller though even maybe. No problem. This is also they have a right. I'm not talking about those people who have too much money, they are having top classes and they can spend crores and crores on. I'm not talking of them because it's no use to talk to them. They will not value my talk and they will not understand what's the reality of life. Here, project management is related to your life. You accept it or don't accept it. And they just like they don't want to know about law, you should not know law, same thing. They say, okay, don't know about project management, let it be on papers only, let it be in PMP or somewhere else, but it's not it's not related to PMP, it's related to real life cycle. What happens? Engineers, civil engineers, electrical engineers, mechanical engineers, architectural engineers and architects, and many supporting engineers. These three are not supporting, I cannot say they're supporting engineers. Electrical, mechanical, civil, architects, these are professions that are basically involved, fundamentally involved in productions of housing or in buildings or in structures. These cannot be replaced by someone else. Even computers cannot replace them because these professionals use naturally explode materials to certain shape by using conception, imaginations, and technology. So in fact, this is a unplanted facility without any process technology. It is a process of converting natural materials to buildings or structures. So this is different kind of world, a world where mind and physical strength both are demanded. High power of mind is required. Highest power of mind, you may say, not even high power of mind, from initial stages of thinking, and full body physique is required in equal proportion. If you don't have this, you cannot work in this field. You cannot work in this field. And those who cannot have both, they are not full professionals, I should say. Well, I talked in last videos, many videos about this issue. These videos I talked last time up to 65. This I think is 66. Let me make it sure. Well, I think should be 66. Not sure. Well, this may be 66 video. 66 point I mean to say. I was talking about quality, and quality generally where concrete is involved. In last time I explained at length what is the importance and significance of concrete quality, which comprises of a structure of building or other structures. Building is one of them, and buildings can be of many types like residential, commercial, institutional, and others. There can be other structures, infrastructures, underground structures, overground structures where concrete is involved, where same resources are involved, and lot of money goes to them. We have to be careful about this. We cannot simply say, oh, this is water line only, this is sewer line only, this is storm water line, or this is only very small building. There is no question of quality. If someone says that, that person is ill informed, that person doesn't understand value of money. What is value of money? But okay, I am not very concerned about citizens who are normal non-professionals. They have a right to say that because they are not informed properly. But if professionals say that, professionals do that, I am very serious at that time. We have different category of engineering qualifications in our country that starts from diploma, then degree, then MTech, ME, and then PhD, etc. These qualifications are academics. These educational academics do not mean that you can work directly on projects. This means that you are on gateway to start working and learning there. People have to keep in mind, only degrees are not adequate to make you an engineer. Yes, you start to as a trainer, and you have to take a few years to understand what practicalities are involved. There is no internship practically, and that's only show business if you say we have interns of 6 months or something, because in 6 months you cannot understand any level of engineering. Why I'm talking this? I have worked for more than 25 years or 20 years overseas in Gulf countries and Middle East countries, and I've come in contact with many nationalities. You can say more than 50 nationalities involving Far East people, Arab people, Middle East people, British people, English, and many other nationalities involved. And I have come to know that internationally what conception is that engineer means do it. Do it. Just like we say plan, check. Do, check, review and act. It's like that. Plan, do, check, act. This is just for understanding something. But actually you are going to deliver it. Only profession in whole world is engineering based on civil, electrical, mechanical and architecture that originally delivers something built out of natural resources directly to user. Others use factory and industries to deliver to you through certain process, but here whole world is different. You work on site and site says you have to produce everything here. You have to first procure raw materials. They call it raw materials. I also call raw materials, though it is natural material, raw material, you may call it. You collect our materials and process that into certain compounding material. For example, concrete, we say, what actually concrete is? It's a mixture of many ingredients, and these ingredients are stone aggregate, sand or dust, you can say fine aggregate, and cementing material, that is cement, which are of many types. This cementing material and cement means lime, silicone, limestone, silica, and many ingredients, chemicals with that. And then water, which is also chemical, hydrogen 2 part and oxygen 1 part. We mix up all these and produce some material. What is that material? That material is called concrete mix. Concrete mix. It is very easy in statement that this is concrete mix, but it is certain solid material. It can work for you for more than 100 years, even up to 200 years, and it can be designed and cast in whatever shape you think it can be. There is no restriction to its shape. It can be done anyway, whatever way you want to use it. And that is where research lies. Means it is flexible material as well as it is rigid material. Flexible in a way that it starts from a liquid state. first a dry state, you mix up these all ingredients, then it becomes fluid or liquid. Then you give it shape to this, constitute it or formwork it, and use whatever another material into this, that is reinforcing bars or steel, and then it gets solidified after a few hours. And then it takes time and stands in months, years, and it becomes more stronger than your rock, natural rock. This means if you see processing of this, you extract rock, and from rock you crush to stone aggregate, stone dust, or if you use direct sand available after erosion, that is pit sand or coarse sand, and of course fine sand, and cement, which is also extracted from limestone, silica, and many other ingredients. These are all mixed in certain ratio by weight batching or by volumetric measurements. Both weight measurement is interested in to do it, and then you use water. So this is converted to wet mix, and that wet mix is for temporary period. It can only be 2 hours, half an hour, 2 hours, 1 hour, 3 hours maximum. And if you use micro silica, it can extend it to many hours. There's a flexibility. Means you can use micro silica, you can use GGBS, or you can use PFA. If you use micro silica to 9% of cement weight, it can give you a lead of being wet mix for few hours. That is technology. But question arises, once it starts getting a strength and solidifies, it becomes very strong stone. This means you are producing artificial rock, artificial stone yourself. It's not natural rock, this is artificial rock, artificial stone. It can take compressive forces, and in combination with the steel reinforcement, you get the tensile forces. It's very important matter, because natural rock cannot take tensile forces. Can never. Very limited. So it is stronger than natural rock. So my statement states, I state that you have to consider this whole procedure. It's not that layman job that what we see by eyes. It's happening. They are doing concrete work. They are doing technological work. You consider concrete work as high profile technical work, technology based work. It's like process of producing structure, process of producing concrete, and then making it included permanently on structures. This going to work for you in whatever way you designed use of that structure for many decades and even more than century. And of course with optimum designed cost, optimum considered cost. You are going to use natural resources for your own use, and that is what is all about. That's what it's about. Here where we stand. Here where we stand. Understand this. This is having significance that we are having different world of vision. For someone, concrete is nothing, but for someone, it's very significant. And where I stress that we should be very strong in concrete quality while we process these materials into concrete world. Various types of concretes are there, well discussed. What my aim is to let people understand what actually concrete means and how can you get better quality if you understand this process. At least if you cannot technically understand this, materially you understand this. Materially, I mean to say you value it, because you are going to use this material for centuries to come. Your children shall use that, and their children shall use that. So it's a long-term friendship with you. Concrete is your friend. It's your member housing you. It's your member you are using on the road. It's your member you are using everywhere. When you take flight, you take through airport. So airport is also constituted of concrete. Wherever you go, you will find certain structure, and that is concrete. You may drive yourself through a tunnel, and that is also concrete. You may go using metro, and that's also concrete. Tell me a place there is no concrete. Everywhere it is. So it is your thorough friend. Thorough friend never stops you from use and never demands any money from you. Only government demands money for its use, or person who provides this service to you, that demands money from you. So try to understand. You give value to milk purchase, you give value to vegetable purchase, you give value to your shirt and pant purchase. Why don't you give value to something that is going to associate you as your more family, as your standard family, as your status family for centuries to come? Why do you take it so lightly that somebody who befools you, loots your money and delivers a rubbish structure? Why do you accept that? My talk is aimed to public, is an objective to be understood by public, but also to fraternity of engineering. Fraternity of engineering actually has been misled due to politics and due to industrialists. They do not value engineering community. No problem at all. Don't value us. We don't want your statement that we are good. But remember, if you want to work as an engineer, you have to work as an engineer, irrespective of what salary you are getting, what benefits you are getting, or don't join engineering. Engineering is not for sale. Engineering education is not for sale. Aim of engineering is not to make money. It is engineering. If you compare it to salary, what management people get, what IT guys get, then don't join basics of engineering. This is not your field. Because engineering means sacrifice in life. IT people never sacrifice, management people never sacrifice, administrative people never sacrifice, political people never sacrifice. It's only engineers who are having basic qualification of civil, electrical, mechanical, they sacrifice. Even architects don't sacrifice, unfortunately. You sacrifice in a way, what I mean to say, because your job is in remote areas. When you are in desert, or you are in forest, or you are in remote site of dam, or you are going to build a city, that time there is nothing even to stay. You have to start from scratch, which is called green project. You have to start from a land which is rubbish one, which is plantation, wood growth, everything there. Or you have to work at beach somewhere, or near seashore, onshore or offshore. Even if you are responsible railway track, you have to pass through jungles and forest and all that. Or if you construct a dam, you have to be same way. There is no built area for civil, electrical, mechanical engineers, particularly civil engineers, that you start enjoying your life. No, you cannot. You are born to stay in jungle. Civil engineer means jungle engineer. Civil engineer means rogue engineer. Civil engineer means rough engineer. Civil engineer means doesn't care for dress. Civil engineer never show beauty of his face, never go to parlor. Civil engineer means a non-diplomatic person. When I was young, of course, I was very anguish. I was very aggressive actually. Aggressive in a sense. I never understood what is diplomacy. People used to call me, my boss used to call me, oh, be a little diplomatic, dealing with these people, be diplomatic. I could not understand what it means diplomacy is. Look, engineer has to deal with workers who are not very educated. We have to deal with those people who speak lie always, vendors, salespeople, buys. These are perfect liars. If they don't lie, they cannot manage. And managers, particularly, real managers, or you can say those who manage only, for them work has got no meaning. They say this is donkey work and this is intelligent work. They do intelligent work and we do donkey work. That is what they say. Those people work in field, working in jungles and forests, they are donkey workers. All right, we are donkey workers. I don't mind this. I am donkey worker. You be intelligent worker. But question is, are you doing something? That's my question. I do not mind these words because this is life. As a civil engineer, I deal with lowest class of workers to highest class of workers, as well as managers, engineers, agents, marketing people, management people, government bodies, statutory bodies, public. We deal with all. If you believe in diplomacy, you cannot work. When you are in sun in 40 degrees and 45 degrees and your body is sweating in, your face is not very shining. Dust is on your face, on your cloth. And they expect you to be diplomatic when people do not work. Shall you fold your hands or touch your feet? Do it. What does diplomacy mean there? You want to extract work from those people and you are talking of diplomacy? Tell me, in whole world, who is interested to work full time and dedicatedly? Not even British people and not even American people. Everybody is work sealer. Everybody wants to avoid work all over, but I have experienced this. They are experienced in chanting, they're experienced in chatting, they're experienced in talking, gossiping everywhere. And now you have videos, mobiles. You go and see some site, you'll find. Watching videos is stopping work. What shall diplomacy do? Tell me. Human relations have changed. Nature of working has changed. Work culture has changed. Whatever you expected of you in whatever capacity, you do not do that. You believe in mobile talk, you do not believe in writings. Oh, please talk to me on telephone and don't write letters to me. Don't send mails to me. Why? Why should I call you only? And when you call me, you disturb me for nothing. I have to give priority to call and not to my work. And your call is just wasting my time because I was concentrating on something and you disturbed me. When my boss comes to me, I'm in my office, he's senior to me, he comes to me and okay, what's your problem? He doesn't ask me. He is busy on receiving calls in my office. I'm waiting to talk to that person. And I sometimes get very angry with this. When you are coming to meet me, talk to me, stop your phone. But no, he'll keep talking for hours together. And I had to see his face. I'm wasting my time, you're wasting my time. If you have to talk like this, go to your office and talk there. Don't talk to me. Don't come to me. Better give me in writing what I want to give. I'll comply with that. Is that not change in culture? That is change in culture. People have forgotten writing. People have forgotten good sentences, compositions. People have forgotten how to interact. They have forgotten everything. Talking on phone, which has got no evidence, and we deal with evidences. We deal with work. We are not playing games here. We are working with materials and people. Every minute costs. Every minute on projects cost limit. Understand, hundreds people, thousands people work in field. Many engineers work and many foremen work and machines work. Every minute costs. We are not MPs of Bharat. Now do not care for time. We are not MLAs, do not care for time. Every minute on site costs. Who is giving that cost? If I don't recover that work from my people, from my workers, and from myself, I am also responsible for work. If I waste 1 minute of my job, I have to be serious. Why did I waste this? Because I am also charging my money from that project. My salary, my car, my housing, my expenses, and also for people, for machines. I am charging to project. And if I waste time, who shall give benefit to that? 1 minute, and the habit of 1 minute, you say you waste half hour or 1 hour or 2 hours every day, it will accumulate to months in whole currency of project. So where is diplomacy then? Where is diplomacy? Shall it pay back my money? Shall it pay? It shall not pay. It will release, it will give me deficit of my budget. I will not be able to complete my project within budget allotted to me. And this is not national budget, nobody bothers. This is project budget. Every item has been coded. There may be 500 items, 1000 items. Every item is coded. You have to spend money against that only. You cannot spend money for this item from another item. That is not permissible. So it's not one point only. If you lose time of equipment, if you lose time of human resources, if you lose time of material, if you lose time of yourself, everywhere you lose and laugh. Why? So that is why I call it very serious business. Serious business it is. Can engineer not understand this? They understand it very well. But they always complain, we don't have any power. Power is in hand of politicians or in administrators. Engineers are powerless. Maybe they are right. I cannot say. I cannot encounter this. I would give them benefit of doubt. But ultimately, it's your responsibility. You cannot pass your responsibility to those people who are not linked to your work. This is what I am talking about. If you miss quality, if you cause defect without caring for quality, when you care for quality, you care for complete details. If you are concerned about quality, you will say this is right, this is right, this is right, and this is wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong. This means you shall try to extract every possible information from documents or from all records related to project. That is what is required. You first dig out all records from whatever sources you have, national sources, international sources, project detailing, project documents, and correlate them. That is required. But it requires time, it requires concentration, it requires your approach towards work. Can you understand this? You have to first study every detail. This is part of engineering. Then you have to correlate. It's another part of engineering. You have to coordinate according to specifications, according to codes, and according to project milestones. And then you have to say where we miss something. Some information is missing or not missing. You have to make sure that whatever information you got can be used for construction or production. If you are satisfied fully, you go for work. Your junior foreman or supervisor expects complete working information to do something. One should not say during process of something, I need this information whole work. If that sort of you have culture, this cannot be said working culture. This goes against management. This is called construction management. It is not PMP. It is not administration. You are spending resource, material, equipment, human resources, cost, time on that production. And that quality controls that. If you don't understand quality, what do you then? You can't do anything. If you don't understand value of time, you can't do it. If you don't understand value of material, you can't do it. So what shall you do? Burn your head? That's why I'm saying learn first. No degree of shame. You have to learn what is your objectives. Decide objective. Once you decide, work on this. And once you work on this, later on you can play with this, because you are a master of that. In that case, coordination become a play for you, game for you, because without that you cannot move further. But if you do not do all this, you are a liability on yourself, because if your workers are not busy, your machines are not busy, your material is not being used, you are just passing time, talking on phone. What does that mean? That doesn't mean anything. That is where management comes into play. You have to be self-manager. That's what I'm talking of quality of concrete. Quality of concrete means concrete master. If quality exists, it is reliable material. Reliable means safe material, serving material, and long distance traveling material, that is durability. This definition of reliability must be understood very clearly. Reliable, which is responsible, which can take responsibility, which can work for you with trust, means you can trust that concrete for decades, for centuries. Even though hysteresis mechanism applies to material, hysteresis, I mean to say, when time passes, years passes, decades pass, materials lose its strength gradually. And a stage comes when it becomes too weak, which means to say how this reaction of stress and losses of properties of material mean hysteresis. But you have to retrofit that. You have to re-inject life to that by continuous maintenance and continuous care of that material. And that can be done. That is called reliability, safety, service action, and long distance travel, long distance use, where quality is required. Quality in design, quality in work execution, quality in maintenance, quality in management, and quality in yourself. Can you take care like this? If you can take care like this, whatever certificate you got from your university or college, I respect that certificate, or otherwise just paste that certificate on your wall and sleep. It is not ordinary degree. It is degree of profession. Do it or sleep. Simple. If you cannot do it, leave profession, go away. And if you can do it perfectly. You have no right to waste natural material and money of people and time of people and quality required expected of your knowledge. You have no right to lose that. Your engineering degree is not for market. It's not for marriage. It's not for dating. It's for work. If you get work, you don't get work because you do not know anything. That's the problem. Now millions of engineers come every year. They're all scrap. 98% of them are scrap because they are not practically oriented. They just prepare something and pass. They are not thorough. So who shall keep them? They don't want to learn. That is where defect lies. Just having certification got no meaning if you cannot do that. That's what I'm saying. I talked about quality of concrete, which is a long game. And you can learn it only by virtue of experience, not by my talk. I can just suggest something, but you have to do it. For that, you have to stand in sun. You have to stand in heat. You have to face dust. You have to face smell, offensive smell. All that you have to do. You have to deal with people, with machines, with every resource. You have to do if you want quality of that. So it is very complicated way. I am not going to criticize anyone because there is no meaning. I have seen no quality standards do exist in our beloved nation. Unfortunately, people are not serious about safety and about quality. They are only interested in production. I can guarantee, go and see many projects I can show you. There's a subway here near my home, which was constructed many years back. Go and see what is the condition of that. Walking way of that have broken. RCC has broken, completely broken. I can show you L&T work here. Storm water drain, very small item, just base slab, small walls and sloping in which rainwater shall be stored for purpose of further disposal. It's cracking, no controls. They are just doing it. Have been doing for 2 years. Covers have broken. What concrete it is? Are you foolish people? You don't understand anything. Where is quality? If you do not understand quality, why do you start project? Why? What do you think? You just making money through contract is okay? Just get measurement, payment, and after you forget. No one cares. No one. Government doesn't care, contractor doesn't care, engineer doesn't care, and who else is there to take care? What should I say? Should I take a stone and put on my head, break my head? That is why I am angry with everyone in my profession. We have allowed these promoters to loot public. We have allowed these contractors to do bad job, and government is sleeping. Institutions are sleeping. Just journals, just seminars, just congresses. For what? If my knowledge is not reaching people of country, what is use of this? And private housing, God, oh God, my God, better not to construct any houses, sleep on footpath. Better. What's meaning of housing? Plaster beautiful, decoration beautiful, elevation beautiful, and the structure means bones, no bones, broken bones. That is quality. And design engineers, oh my God, always sitting in office on computers and softwares and talking and talking and talking and talking. I should take this test and that is all research. Only research. Only research, that's it. No implementation. Codes, IS codes 456, that and this and that and this. Only talk and talk and talk. On ground it is zero. What's the purpose of that? What's the purpose of that if you cannot implement that? No use. So what you will say, engineers are not regulated? Okay, not regulated, fine. But can someone stop you from quality production? Can someone stop you? Even if there's no regulation, you are signing. Why do you sign? Why are you signing something which you cannot do? You have to fight with circumstances. When you fight with material, you fight with machines, you fight with human resources, you fight with someone else, why don't you fight with your own and your contractors? Why don't you fight with the architect community? You have to fight with everybody or withdraw from profession. Simple. Go to management, go to IT. That's your friend. Don't insult quality, don't insult profession. There's nothing happening in profession in our country. Nothing. There is ISO 9001 2015. Well, I'm not talking of Sigma, that because I don't understand Sigma here for our profession. That is for production, for machine, for spare parts, all that. Not meant for civil engineering. Do we understand all? We never understand all. There was 2008, which has been demolished, superseded by 2015, IS 9015. It's different one. Do we understand it? Do we? And if we do, what do we know? And if we don't, why don't we? After all, we are bound by what? We don't have our own system, and we don't want to understand standardized one. I'm not talking of contract now, contract I'll take later on. I am just continuing with annexure SL, that is high level structure of systems, of quality system. Be clear, you know it, I know, but for those who do not know, quality system, total quality management system is something else. It's not quality control alone. Quality control is a part of this. People are a little confused sometimes. Quality management is systems management. Just like there's a system in your computer, there's a system in profession, in construction, in designs, everywhere, even in commerce or in institutions, and that system management is expected to move fairly smoothly for resulting product. That is system management. And that system management means its basis is ISO 9001 2015 now, which is a different one, much different than 2008, because it demands something now. Previously it was like suggestive, like advisory, like you can say voluntary management. It was considered voluntary management, but now no. If you want certification under compliance of ISO 9001, I am saying under compliance. I have to be clear here, and you be clear here. ISO 9001 or ISO itself does not certify anybody. ISO Institute does not give any certification to anybody. Those who are writing ISO 9001 certified, they have misconception. You are not certified by ISO, you are certified by compliance of ISO, and that certification comes from that registered body or that authorized body, that body authorized by ISO, which certifies you. So it is not ISO certification, it is certification of someone or third party, you may say, that one which is authorized, is empowered by Institute of ISO to give you certificate. That's a difference. Do not understand or do not make an understanding this ISO certified you are. You are not ISO, you are ISO compliant you are. Okay, this is just for information because there's some confusion on this account. Now I was going through quality control of concrete, which I had explained to you last time about concrete, how we move in field, and I explained up to foundations and superstructure, how can we manage that. But that's not end. I will continue that, but let me now go through systems of SL, Annex SL. That's a part, is a revised part of ISO 9001. There is a structure, there is a tabulation, there is a demand, and main demand now is that quality section in whatever company is not final authority. Previously, they were given independence, they were understood to be head of quality, but now some change exists there, and that change is head of company, whoever is also involved in quality management. Documentations, the theology has gone, system of documents has gone, it is documented information, and many liberties have been allowed to organizations that you move according to this structure and define yourself for certain specific management principles, and remaining you do yourself but comply with that. So this is called Annex SL. I was going through Annex XL for building contractors, but here I just remind you what Annex SL actually is all about. That is very important to understand. What is Annex SL actually? What it is? Annex SL, what I mean to say is, IS 9001 2015 stand and do it. I don't want to sit and let me stand a little so that I can comfortably talk to you, because comfort is also very important sometimes, to stretch my legs and talk accordingly. Yeah. Okay. Now, what actually IS 9000 is? Quality system. It says, this is a guide actually, there was a guide before introduction of Annex, and that guide has gone, and this is quality system. It says an organization adopts a management system to take care of comfortably achieving its set objectives means set objectives are there to achieve them comfortably. This is the system, this is management system, and management system comprises various sets of procedures. Sorry. Management system comprises various sets of procedures for charting out and implementing various operations or activities so as to successfully reach its intended objectives, which leads to enhanced use of resources, improvement on risk management, and increased customer satisfaction by meeting product or services expectations. Organizations do work on various management systems, say quality management, environment management, structures, safety management, etc. And these various systems are in line to ISO 9001-2008. Before used to work on varying management structures, causing inconvenience to interface with each other. Now, Annex SL, being a high-level management system, has produced a common platform so as all systems that organization adopts can be drawn based on Annex SL design or format. This is basics. Such arrangement provides many commonalities in designing system, implementation, monitoring, evaluation, and improvement by trying to eliminate conflicts that existed within ISO 9001-2008 system. All management systems shall have single high-level identical core text with common terms and definitions. High-level structure cannot be changed, but discipline-specific subclauses can be both added or changed. Annex SL applies to all management system standards publicly available, specifications and technical specifications. Now, revised ISO 9001, 14001 and 45001 shall all be based on Annex SL high level structure. There is a format for this, and in that format there are various clauses. You can see 10 clauses, and these are: clause number 1 is for scope, that includes outcome of management system, which are industry specific and should be aligned with clause 4, that is context of organization. Clause 2 is for normative references, which includes details of reference standards or publications relevant to particular standard. Clause 3 is terms and definitions, which includes detailed terms and definitions applicable to particular specific standard in addition to formal related terms and conditions. That is, detailed terms and definitions applicable to particular specific standard in addition to formal related terms and conditions. Class 4 is context of organization, in which includes understanding organization and its context, understanding needs and expectations of parties, and determining scope of management system and management system. Then class 5 is leadership, which includes leadership and commitment, policy, organizational roles, responsibilities, and authorities. Then class number 6, which is planning, is actions to address risks and opportunities, management system objectives, and planning to achieve these objectives. Then next is class 7, which is support, means includes resources, competence, awareness, communication, documented information. This is support. Class 8, which is operation, which includes operational planning and control, point for considerations, in-house process, outsourced processes, overall processes. Management includes adequate criteria to control these processes, manage planned and unintended changes. This is in class 8, operations. And class 9 is performance evaluation, which includes monitoring, measurement, analysis and evaluation, internal audit, management review. This is performance evaluation. Manage means monitoring, measurement, analysis of evaluation, internal audit, management review. And last is 10. This is improvement, which means non-conformity and corrective action, continual improvement. These are 10 points. I again repeat: number 10 is improvement, number 9 is performance evaluation, number 8 is operation, number 7 is support, number 6 is planning, number 5 is leadership, number 4 is context of organization, number 3 is terms and definitions, number 2 is called normative references, number 1 is scope. So again, number 1, class 1 is scope, class 2 is normative references, class 3 is terms and definitions, class 4 is context of organization, class 5 is leadership, class 6 is planning, class 7 is support, class 8 is operation, class 9 is performance evaluations, and class 10 is improvement. Now, two most important objectives are in this revision, which is ISO 9000 series, has we have to develop a simplified set of standards, means complication from standards has to be out. Means this simplified set of standards shall be equally applicable to small as well as medium and large organizations, and for amount and detail of documentation required to be more relevant to desired results of organizations' process activities. Now, this IS 9001-2015 quality management system requirements has achieved these objectives, and purpose of this writing is to explain intent of new standards with specific regard to documented information. Because documented information is something different. Now, IS this 9001-2015 allows an organization flexibility in a way it chooses to document its quality management system, QMS. There's a flexibility in documents now. This enables each individual organization to determine correct amount of documented information needed in order to demonstrate effective planning, operation, and control of its process with implementation and continual improvement of effectiveness of QMS. It is stressed that ISO 9001 requires documented quality management system and not a system of documents. Means documented quality management system has taken over system of documents. So question is, what is documented information? And it says term documented information was introduced as part of common high level structure and common terms for management system standards, MSS. Definition of document information can be found in clause 3.8 IS 9000 class 3.8. Documented information can be used to communicate a message, provide evidence of what was planned has actually been done, or knowledge sharing. That is very important point. It says documented information can be used to communicate a message, provide evidence of what was done, what was planned accordingly, or what was planned has actually been done, or knowledge sharing. Following are some main objectives of an organization: documented information, independent of whether or not it has implemented a formal QMS. Now, what is that documented information? That is also a very important point. Let us say communication of information. Now, it should be a tool to act for information, as a tool for information transmission and communication. So this serves purpose of transmission and communication. Now, type and extent of document information depends on nature of organization's products and processes, degree of formality of communication systems, and level of communication skills within organization and organization culture. So what sort of work you are doing, what sort of production you are doing, what's your process, what's your product, communication and transmission of communication depends upon that. What standard formalities do you adopt? So it says type and extent of document information shall depend on nature of organization, products and processes, degree of formality of communication systems, and level of communication skills within organization and organizational culture. Then evidence of conformity. This provision of evidence that what was planned has actually been done, that is evidence of conformity. Your document says something and you different, that is not acceptable. Whatever is written in your document information, that must be done. Your result should prove that. And evidence of conformity, provision of evidence that what was planned has actually been done, and knowledge sharing. Knowledge sharing means it's knowledge. You documented information in knowledge for your company, for your organization. Then to disseminate and preserve organization's experiences. Disseminate and preserve organization experience. So it's knowledge sharing. You have this knowledge, this like theory, like practical, like tutorials, like experience, which your organization can share with, can disseminate among all as experience of organization, or you can say indirectly capacity building of your organization. What sort of personnel you have experiences, what sort of people they are, how much they know, what can they do. This shall tell all that. And a typical example would be technical specifications. You might have created some specifications, you might have done some method statements, you might have written something. All that is information. A typical example would be technical specifications, which can be used as a base for design and development of new product or services. So what actually is given is, there's a list of commonly used terms and definitions relating to documented information, and this can be seen or presented in ISO 9015 Annex A. Well, it must be stressed that according to Clause 753, that's control of documented information requirements, documents may be in any form, in whatever form of type, medium or definition of document, that's ISO 9015, 9015, Clause 385 gives following examples for paper information, information on paper, information on magnets, that's discs, electronic or optical computer disk, photograph, master sample, or whatever way you can say that is documented information. Now ISO 9001-2005 Clause 4.4 Quality Management System and its process requires an organization to maintain documented information to an extent necessary to support operation in processes and retain documented information to an extent necessary to have confidence that processes are being carried out as planned. Clause 751 general explains that quality management system documentation shall include. Let me repeat it because it's a long sentence. Quality management system and its processes requires an organization to maintain documented information to an extent necessary to support operation of processes and retain documented information to an extent necessary to have confidence that processes are being carried out planned as planned. And general explains this, Clause 751 general explains that quality management system documents shall include. Now, documented information required by international standard, documented information determined by organization as being necessary for effectiveness of quality management system. There are two. Number one, required by international standard. Number two, required by company. They will design this way. Now, effectiveness of quality management. Now, that clause, now that after this clause makes clear that extent of QMS, quality management system, documented information can differ from one organization to another due to, number one, size of organization and its type of activities, processes, products and services, to complexity of processes and their interactions, and competence of persons. So all documented information that forms part of QMS has to be controlled in accordance with Clause 7.5 documented information. Documented information needed be maintained by organization for purpose of establishing QMS. High level transversal documents, QMS. Scope, let us say, which includes scope of quality management system, documented information necessary to support operations of processes, means quality management. What scope of your quality management system? Documented information necessary to support operation of processes, quality policy, quality objectives. This document information is subject to requirements of clause, whatever clauses is. 5. Document information maintained by organizations for purpose of communicating information necessary for organization to operate low-level specific documents. Although 2015 does not specifically require any of them, examples of documents that can be added value. Now what is that? Means these are not mandatory. I want to tell you now. These are optional. If your organization requires, you can do it, but these are not mandatory by international standards. Number one, organization chart, top management to line management, is your choice. You have to follow. So organization charts, then process maps, process flow, charts or process descriptions. This is complete engineering, which is process maps, process flow, charts and process descriptions engineering, which is generally for chemical plants, for facilities plants, for hydraulic, for hydrocarbon projects. This is generally that one. Then procedure, because they are already do technology, means they don't want to take over this. It's your choice how you do it, but it must be there. If it's there, it must be done that way. If you include that in your company documents. So I'm talking of company documents. So number one is organization chart, number two is process maps, etc. Then procedures, technical and administrative. Number three it is whatever procedure for technical work and for administrative work you adopt, you can have that also. That is your option. Then number four, work and or test instructions, that is IFC, etc. Works and or test instructions, that's also your choice. It's a part of quality as well, quality control. Then 5 is specifications, project specification, general specification and particular. These are also your documents. If you need, you have it. Number 6 is documents containing internal communications, memo, mails, methods. These are also your own. You record them, you do them for purpose, but if you do them, if you follow them, do it. Which I am going to tell you all this. If you have these, must be done to prove that these have been done. Then documents containing internal communication and okay. Then production schedules, descriptive schedules. Production schedule, or you can say bar charts or whatever you say. Approved suppliers list of all vendors. That's your internal matter. Then test and inspection plans means checklists and ITPs. That's also your internal matter for the purpose of quality control, means inspections of work done. And quality plans, site or project based document, and quality manuals, organization based documents, and strategic plans or forms. These are various documents you may maintain but not mandatory. Then when it exists, all document information is also subject to requirement clause. Okay, documented information needed be retained by organization for purpose of providing evidence of result activities, achieved results, non-results. Now, documented information to an extent necessary to have confidence that processes are being carried out as planned. Means that is what they actually need. If you have this information, it requires a documented information to an extent necessary to have confidence that processes are being carried out as planned. Evidence of fitness for purpose of monitoring and measuring resources. So evidence of basis used for calibration of monitoring and measurement resources where no international or national standard exists. And evidence of competence of persons doing work under control of organization but affects performance and effectiveness of QMS. The results of review and new requirements for products and services. Records needed demonstrate that design and development requirements have been met. Records on design and development inputs, records of activities of design and development controls, record of design and development outputs, design and development changes, including results of review and authorization of changes and necessary actions. Then records of evaluation, selection, monitoring of performance, and re-evaluation of external providers and any other actions arising from these activities. Evidence of unique identification of outputs when traceability is a requirement. Records of property of customers or external providers that is lost, damaged, or otherwise found to be unsuitable for use and of its common communication to owner. Result of review of changes for production or service provision, persons authorizing change and necessary actions taken. Records of authorization, records of authorized release of products and service for delivery in customer to customer, including acceptance criteria and traceability in authorizing persons. Records of non-conformities, actions taken, concessions obtained, and identifications of authorities deciding action in respect of non-conformity. Results of evaluation of performance and effectiveness of QMS. Evidence of implementation of audit program and audit results. Evidence of results of management review. Evidence of nature of non-conformities and whatever subsequent actions taken. Result of whatever corrective actions taken. Now, organizations are free to develop other records and they may be needed. They may need whatever to demonstrate conformity of their processes, products, services, and quality management system where they exist. All such records are also subject to requirement clause 75. Now this was actually a requirement of general, what I say, this was about basics of management, that is Annex SL called, and these were basic 10 clauses and how we should operate them, what sort of documents are mandatory and what sort of documents are not mandatory. Means whatever international standards demand and whatever international standards do not demand, company should have for their own purpose. And if company has got it for its own purpose, this also must be operated to prove that you have complied with. This is what it was about. In last one, I explained to you about contracting general RCC buildings construction template. I explained to you about that in last one, my last talks, that was related to, let me sit for a while, I have cold here. In last one, I explained to you about these clauses, and I had covered in this RCC building construction template, that was for quality system, contracting general, RCC buildings construction. Now, what actually I wanted to tell is, an organization adopts a management system to take care of comfortably achieving its set objectives, which being in this case contracting general RCC buildings construction. Now, regarding this, management system comprises various sets of procedures for charting out and implementing various operations in activities so as to successfully reach its intended objectives, which lead to enhanced use of resources, improvement on risk management, and increased customer satisfaction by meeting products or services expectations. In this case, product is contracting general RCC buildings, means this is a contracting company which takes contracts for RCC building construction. I am discussing about that. Organizations do work on various management systems, say quality management, environment management, safety management, and all these systems, and now they are unified. So what I explained to you in last talk was, I explained to you about clause 1 for this RCC buildings contracting. I explained to you about clause 2, and up to clause 8 I had explained to you. Up to clause 8. Others were left due to time shortage. So I am now going to continue from there onwards, and later on we review what we have studied in this case. So I'm reaching to get to you clause 8, 9, and 10 now. 8 of course I had done, but just to overlap last talk, just to refresh what we talked, we will 7, let us no 8. I have to start from 8 as a refresher, as overtaker, and this is clause 8. That's operation. In this operation, we said, which includes operational planning and control. Operational planning and control points for consideration were in-house processes, outsourced processes. Overall process management includes adequate criteria to control these processes, manage, plan, and unintended change. Now, what you have to write on your SL template is, let us start with bids. Bids, we are talking of here in this contracting company, because then we will talk of bid negotiations and contract award, and then site mobilization, and that is contract related permanent works, and then we'll take care of in this case sections on site working, and whatever is done means as a part of that. These are brief. I am going to talk to you for this clause 8 in contracting RCC buildings. What stages are covered in this and Excel? These are actually procedures in that and Excel 1. And now clause 8, this is, let us start with bids. I have already talked to you, but let me repeat it only briefly. Bids, actually it says buildings require many operations which start from corporate or support office of contractor. Prior to bidding work is started, bidder needs one full established office that can meet project requirements. This office should have all departments established at one location to avoid unnecessary movement of personnel from one office to other office. Bid starts with board section to estimation division, which submits its bid report back to board, who then decides upon designated charter whether or not to go with this bid. Once bid is to go, decision is made, estimation division comes into its full-fledged working on bid by appointment by its board a project manager in whose control bids shall be worked out with coordination among all personnel belonging to estimation division or estimation section, whatever you can call it. An estimation coordinator shall be appointed for particular bid, who with support of quantity surveyors and others would invite all quotations from various prospective vendors and subcontractors, or you may say future stakeholders. Coordinator would check out all bid documents to attach with invitation letters one by one, or try dispatch all such extracts to each vendor, which process takes a lot of hard work and time. Means you have to documents from extract related pages of documents from all tender documents or bid documents which are in relevance to items invited for quotation. You cannot send undue irrelevant documents because a question of confidentiality exists in bids. Coordinator gives a date to all vendors for tender or bid closing, and date on or before which quotation should be obtained. Thereafter, all details received from various vendors are entered into itemized list Excel sheet if used for purpose of making rates and conditions comparison. Coordinator is authorized to call those vendors whom it is expected that would support competitive bidding, for which meeting is appointed and conducted for purpose of negotiations or assurance for pre-bid agreement, if so required, keeping in view value of items. Now, particularly for package subcontractor for requirement related to electromechanical and plumbing, etc., such meetings are conducted to draw a better and reliable support for winning better bids. Once all items are prepared, work of computing bid items and related prices start and taking care Talks are made to those vendors who failed to send quotations, and requests are made to submit if vendors are interested. All items received in quotations and relevant specifications are compared to make sure that vendor complied with bid requirement, and if certain discrepancy notified or noticed, I will say notice clarification sought from vendors. Once all items are ready for pricing purpose, estimator designated for bid enters all prices into software, and then all other indirects are fixed in. After completing all data entry of directs and indirects expenses, provisional bid prices, and when I say expenses means assessed or estimated expenses, provisional bid price is raised for management consideration and review. Other end work on format of bid continues by fulfilling all bid requirements, including execution statement, so that full bid packet be ready for submission. Meanwhile, if certain clarification is required from engineer or owner, queries are sent to engineer in approved format, and information sought or whatever queries related to bid documents are made. Planning division is given task to prepare level 1 schedule for purpose to include with bid, who work out all histograms and related submission documents for scheduling. Various meetings are conducted among bid working personnel under chair of estimation manager, and final prices are fixed. All required documentations are prepared and enclosed with bid forms. All materials proposed on permanent inclusion are enlisted for review by engineer. All vendors are enlisted and enclosed for similar purpose as materials. Final prices are reviewed by project manager, and then at end of board and at end by board responsible for this bid, and confidential price is given to estimation manager, who incorporates all such prices and close bid for purpose to submit to engineer. After all foregoing process for bid preparation, bid is submitted to defined location by bidder prior to appointed final hour. Then bid negotiation. This was bid procedure. I just I just talked to you about bid procedures which a contractor company should do. Then bid negotiations we are going to talk. Bid is opened by engineer on date appointed, and list of bidders is prepared. It's not necessary that bid be awarded to a bidder who quotes minimum price, but this is part of practice only. Engineer examines and scrutinizes all bids received. Then a list is prepared by engineer to invite bidders under negotiation considerations one by one. Minimum quote bidder is prioritized for negotiations. Along with prime or main bid, alternative bid are also examined simultaneously. Notes are made for all bids regarding bid in order of submission, or if certain deficiency exists. Whatever deficiency exists, bidder is asked to clarify it or clarify it in a defined time for further consideration. After making complete review and scrutiny of bids, bidders are called for further negotiations, which leads to award of bid to one best bidder. Later, engineer makes a report for bid award for owner's consideration, and final decision is taken by owner on engineer's recommendation. Now we talk of contract award. We have talked about bid. Now let us talk about contract award. Now, having considered engineers' recommendations, honor approves award of contract and worked out some duly instructing engineer to issue letter of appointment to contractor. Engineer as such issues an appointment letter with approved lump sum for carrying out complete scope within contract. Name of resident engineer is also included within this letter so that contractor would practically deal with resident engineer or engineer's representative and shall work on behalf of engineer. That representative would work on behalf of engineer with all delegated powers as mentioned on appointment letter. A time of minimum 7 days is permitted, allowed to contractor to commence with contract works. Later, complete contract is executed within a given time limit, whereas contractor is required to produce a performance bond of defined sum from a designated bank. Contractor is also directed to make all submissions as required by contract conditions, copies of which are either available with contractor as bid document or could be provided to contractor for reference. Now it's contractor's responsibility to commence with mobilization in line to execution statement included within bid documents. Then day on which appointment letter is received may be considered contract commencement day or some other day appointed on letter itself could be referred to as contract communication day to name it a practical contract baseline. Practical contract baseline. Now site mobilization to commence contract scope. Now we are talking of mobilization and no contractor is interested to waste any day, any time to successfully complete contract. If contract is serious, which organization should be planning and scheduling division of contracting company should be well prepared in advance to direct site managers to chart out attack on all possible activities. Project manager should fix a kick start meeting with engineer or resident engineer if so appointed by engineer. Contractor formally meets resident engineer or engineer to confer on starting of project. Contractor submits third-party insurance documents and also performance bond of value defined. Contractor also submits proposed site office, location and related infrastructure, utilities if so under that area and to support doing permanent work. Resident engineer then examines tabled proposal and approves it with certain modifications if so required. All relevant issued pertinent contract conditions relevant at this stage are discussed in details and instructions are passed to contractor. Standard forms, if whatever used by engineer for purpose of formal submissions are also handed over to contractor for mail to mail possible. Next meeting date shall be conducted at site to be decided. Next site meeting date which shall be conducted on site. Site meeting date shall be decided for a meeting to be conducted at site office if site office would be ready by that time. Then contractor has to move to work on site mobilization within defined contract period and commission of all such site office to be used by resident engineer and staff as well as by contractor, agent and staff. All temporary services are provided in all offices including sanitary, water and office establishment requirements. Once mobilization is completed, permanent works can be started. This is just preliminary mobilization. Now we are talking of permanent works in all disciplines. And that is RCC building works involve many activities that would be shown on level 1 schedule of planning. Now from site takeover to site handover, all activities related to all disciplines are included with prime, star and complete time limit, start and complete time limits. These activities are further elaborated on other level schedules so as to control all works within defined time limit. Here, project management plays a very important, significant part to be conducted by project managers by support of planning engineers. All works are carried out by site managers, engineers based on this schedule and day after another. Progress is achieved and monitored. All works should be carried out meeting contractual requirements without causing any carelessness. All related staff must be trained for all activities that would be carried out per defined methods and complying with required management of specifications in all respects. Now, weekly reports are presented by planning engineer to evaluate real progress, earned value in comparison to planned schedule. In case there is noticed delays on site progress achievement, methods are adopted to check delays by extending work hours and also by importing additional resources from other sources. Whether works are produced during 1 month or are measured by planning engineer or valuation engineer, a payment due statement is worked out for submission to resident engineer or engineer. In case approved materials which are non-perishable are procured by contractor during this valuation period, that part value as agreed with engineer or resident engineer say 70% could be added to what's carried out some if resident engineer so agrees. Contractual required deductions in line to condition within contract are deducted from each valuation and final running sum reached and agreed between resident engineer or engineer. This valuation is approved by owner on recommendation by engineer and for making payment to contractor. Engineer issues a payment certificate to contractor for its legal banking purpose whatsoever. During contract execution and prosecution, all divisions and all disciplines play respective roles from leadership offices as well as from key personnel posted on site. It's very significant to keep all historical records of contract activities during currency of project execution so that tracing of each record may not cause any problem. It should be remembered that there may be working friendship between staff of resident engineer and contractor on personal levels, yet both are different and contractors binding on both owner and contractor. Engineer and resident engineer are not any party, they do not constitute any party on construction contract. Whatever personal level coordination be made should be limited to work activities and not be shared by contractual complexities. No personal assurances on contract matters are acceptable to certain extent. Commercial issues are concerned which all must be covered for protection, protection in writing only. Though such writings may be in polite or in soft script of language. It's not any practice in construction industry to deploy legal personnel, say barristers or advocates to look after contract matters on sites. All contract matters are looked after for treatment by engineers on site and probably by head engineer, project manager, who must have deep knowledge about conditions, and future impacts that contract can receive if issues are not properly cared for at site level during currency of contract. During disputes resolution mechanism, all records support whatever claims are raised by contractor against owner. If contractual activity records are not properly managed and recorded by site team, it shall be equivalent to impossible to work on claims raising exercise and possibly claim sum would be lost forever. Claim sum would be lost forever. Otherwise, there could be 3 years limitation period to move dispute resolution mechanism even after project has been handed over to owner. Therefore, senior engineers and project managers must be very smart in recording serious activities that could lead to possible disputes in future. Now, sections on site working for contract project. Personnel belonging to all sections are available on site for purpose to support site manager to prosecute all activities. Engineering team has to work out all design details and review available details for purpose to obtain clarifications of engineering decisions for either missing items or clashing items. Contract section team requires to keep a watch on all instruction coming from coming in from engineer or resident engineer to ascertain whether or not it constitutes contract variation. Quantity survey team has to provide required quantities for each and every item to be used on project. Land survey team section has to set out all details, points and markings that are necessary to carry out relative civil activity. Procurement material team coordinator has to place in requisition for ordering required material. Planning and scheduling team has to work out relative schedules for weekly, monthly, and quarterly requirements, etc. Civil work Civil work team has to carry out all activities related to civil building items. Mechanical engineering team required to work for all HVAC and plumbing and sanitary activities throughout. Electrical engineering team is required to carry out works during inter-activities, while whatever activities on whatever items be moving. Quality engineering team is required to interact for inspections, checking out and verification of whatever works are carried out on site. Documents Documents control section team requires to keep complete records of all project documents, documented information, whatsoever in a proper manner, making it convenient traceability as and when some documented information is required. On top of all foregoing sections, project manager is responsible and accountable being a leader on project and therefore requires to direct all personnel related to all sections and coordinate with corporate or head office. Now clause 9, performance evaluation, in which we talk monitoring, measurement, analysis and evaluation, internal audit, management review. Points for considerations are management requires to decide about internal audit to ensure compliance of management system. Final review by management to ensure its compliance and whether or not system works suitable, adequately, and effectively. So we say in this template, let's say construction operations are construction operations are monitorable. Constructions operations are monitorable and measurable for purpose of further analysis and earned evaluation. Monitoring, measurement, analysis, and evaluation is a defined process which requires to be conducted both by internally deployed management as well as all defined schedules by external third-party audit authorities. Many observations are recorded by both internal and external auditors, which nothing and instructions should be entirely received by top management leaders. Which notings actually, I have to repeat this, many observations are recorded by both internal and external auditors, I mean to say quality auditors, which notings and instructions they make should be entirely reviewed by top management leaders. Top leaders then requires to decide degree of compliance of current system and what steps shall be required to be taken to make it fully compliant and not and sorry also what degree of value engineering can be inducted onto existing system for further successful competition. This was regarding performance evaluation, means actually you have to evaluate yourself to what extent you have performed in line to what extent you require to do it. That is self-assessment. And if you want to improve this, you need to improve this, improve it. No way you cannot do it, you have to do it. That's what it's all about. And then we go to improvement clause 10. Improvement, this is clause 10. It says non-conformity and corrective action, continual improvement. So there are only 2 points. There are non-conformities. You have to take corrective actions on that. And with such, you have to keep it process complete structure moving to improvement, and that's called continual improvement. And also what consideration is means in changing business environment, processes and objectives vary to meet which requirements continual monitoring, evaluation and improvement. So let's go and study this little. As stated earlier that technologies keep on changing as well as business environment, which makes it incumbent upon organization to keep pace with market so as to be at required standard mark. This requires review of non-conformities. You mean say non-conformities here means like NCR we issue. This requires review of non-conformities, resorting to corrective actions and corrective actions for charting out corrective actions. So corrective plans for charting out corrective actions, such making and evolving keeps system frequently updated and all involved personnel continue learn and update. And all leaders require sharing improvement responsibilities. Means it's a direction, means all leaders require share in improvements responsibilities, means it's not one man that has to improve, all involved in quality, in prosecution, execution or whatever, they have to share this and learn it. It's the responsibility of everyone up to leaders. So it says all leaders require share improvement responsibilities all times at currently running projects and adopt as lessons learned on future projects as past or historical references. So what actually we are talking about is, you know, these talks which we made are all based on contract major documents, which are, for example, contract documents, project schedule agreed with the engineer owner, contract drawings, contract specifications, execution method statement, significant method statement, shop and working drawings, national codes, international codes, national annexures, nationally determined parameters, published documents, DAV if applies, disputes, adjustment board. So in this, all we have learned, we have gone through, we have deliberated about this RCC building contracting, all this you can say annex SL in its respect, all same clauses. We did just have a brief review of this so that I can shift to another document. Means what we actually learned on this in this is normal RCC building contracting document annexes for annexure, and this annexure I'm just bringing it back to clause 1, and actually this is a long one, so no problem, I reached there. So it says clause 1, which is a scope, and scope in this case does not amount to direct product delivery to honor, but other contracts and parties are involved for a successful delivery of products. So this is in this of RCC building. Clause 1, that is a scope, which includes outcome of management. This is outcome of management, that is scope, that direct product delivery to honor, but other contracts and parties are involved for a successful delivery. And this is RCC building, that is a contract. Second clause is normative references, and that is on the next two, clause 2, details of references, standards, and publications relevant to particular standards. So here honor is party 1, contract is party 2, and there are various forms of contracts. I'll explain to all that. And then in clause 3 is the terms and definitions, and we talked of here authorities, which are control authorities, control references, the statute and laws. We talked of contract with FIDIC or NEC or whatever else, and we talked of contract documents and honors personnel and engineers personnel and engineers personnel, contractor personnel, workforce, and many others such as daily progress report, the status memos, the contractor technical clarification, engineering clarification, contractual clarification, subcontractors, nominated contractor, site instructions, engineers instructions, and request for inspection, general request for inspection, concrete reports and non-compliance reports, and material approval requests and drawing approval requests, and subcontracts approval requests, and temporary works and preparatory works and permanent works, construction method statements, standard working design details, quality management statements including checklists and ITPs, and safety management documents including safety inductions, training, the upkeep and surveillance, and fire prevention, suppressions, and many more are there. Means depending on activity and all that. So we talked those and references, and these references are very significant because these are related to contract documents, and these references, terms and definitions are there, which you have to understand before going to further. And I explained to you at length, and this you can review that video last one. And then we take contact of organizer, clause 4, in which we say we have to understand organization and what it says. We have to understand needs and expectation of parties, and we have to determine scope of management system and management systems. And main points are that why organization exists, identify internal and external issues that impact intended outcome, and interested parties and other requirements, and define scope and set boundaries of management system, and raise employment awareness and involvement. So we have gone through that. That was clause 4. We have completely gone through that in explanatory mode. And then we can say leadership, this clause 5. Leadership and commitment means policy and organizational role, responsibilities and authorities, all that we have gone through. And points for considerations were emphasis on leadership, how much important it is, not just top management. Leadership is responsible and accountable. Top management has greater accountability and involvement in organizational management system, and integrate requirement of management system into organizations core business process, ensure that management system allocates necessary resources, ensure management system achieves business intended outcome, and top management responsible to communicate importance of management system and ensure employees awareness and involvement. And we consider a lot in this, means what are leader, who are leaders, what responsibility they have. We have gone through all that. This clause 5. And in class 6, that's planning, we had contemplated on actions to address risks and opportunities. Means when the planning gives you a chance, and there's a address risk and opportunities, there is the risk, and risk also means opportunities for improvement. Then management system objectives and planning to achieve these objectives. And there are many points, for example, bring risk-based thinking to front, means there's a planning part as well. Bring risk-based thinking to front. Once organization pinpoints risks and opportunities, it has to work out how to resolve addressing through planning. Then what, who, how, and when these risks be addressed. This approach replaces preventive action, reduced risk for reduces risk for corrective action later. Objectives of management system should be measurable, communicated, aligned to management system policy, and updated as and when required. And then there was certain examples of this. And after this planning, we pick a point of support, and that's clause 7, and which says what are resources, what are competence, what are awareness, what are communications, and what are documented information. All these are there. Means resources, you can say competence of staff and personnel, and awareness, how much they know, in communication and documented information. And points for considerations here were, there are resources means material, equipment, and human resources, and capacity potential of organization and individual. This capacity building, qualification of personnel involved means key personnel on project, awareness among all permanent system and its functioning, and written job description, work procedures, safety procedures, quality control procedures, administrative methods, etc. And 6 is documented information is different than documentation. Whatever information about management and procedures are or processes in whatever form, such as written text, maps, charts, designs, successful implementation, evidence of compliance of requirement. And then we had to define this no system of documents but evidently available documents for reference and future use document information. And details were given of this. We talked today itself. Means then we have number 8, operation, planning, and control. That is in number 8. Points for considerations are in-house processes, outsourced processes, overall process management facility. Overall process management includes includes adequate criteria to control these processes, manage planned and unintended changes. Then we talked of this all, and we have to see means in talk we have to see a bit. We talked of may say that bids. What are bids, and about that in operations we talked of bids, complete details up to award, and then we talked of up to mobilization and finishing. And if you take another clause, which is clause 9, performance evaluation, which means monitoring, measurement, analysis, and evaluation, internal audit, management review, and points for considerations for management requires to decide about internal audit and ensure compliance of management system. Then final review by management to ensure its compliance and whether or not system works suitably, adequately or no. This was in 9, performance. And then you can say improvement. Improvement means non-conformities and corrective actions, continual improvement. And what we consider in this, in changing business environment, processes and objectives vary to meet which requirements continual monitoring, evaluation, and improvement are a must. This is a standard chart we talked of. Now I'll move to next one, and that is also very important, and that is, let me see what's going to NXS like pose icon. I'll talk of something different, and that is EPC contracting facilities, buildings construction. So I'm interested to talk about NXSL related to company, that is EPC contracting facility, buildings construction template. This is very significant from project viewpoint, and it's lengthy also here, quite lengthy. This relates to various mega projects. So why I want to say, when we talk of facility, means this is not simple facility of toilet or something like that. It's facility of plants, refineries, for example, onshore projects you you take from offshore slash slugs and refine that to petrochemical products, and then out of those there are byproducts, and you process those byproducts to ethylene, for example, methane, you can say propane, and so many other products are there from which you generate plastic or something else byproducts. That companies sometimes are very big, not only company, one organization, many organizations are there. And in international words or in contracting words, those operators, actually we call them operators, but they are companies, oil companies. You can, for example, ADNOC is there somewhere. In our country also there are so many companies. This Qatar Petroleum is there. ExxonMobil, yes, so many are there. They are companies. They are actually operators of those products. They are they have many sub companies with them to whom they award, and this is that kind of companies I'm going to talk in SL Annex SL standard format of IS 9015. It's very big actually. If you say that thousands of people work on one plant and hundreds of machines and technology and subcontractors and company. So one side is company, we call it, actually that is company, but owner, you may say, owner of that facility. And also it's like engineer too, because they employ some experts with them who take care of, experts take care of all facility contracts and main contracts and all that, because it is technologically involved. And there are then contracting companies with them. Those are of EPC status, engineering, procurement, construction status companies. And that product I'm talking of, that project I'm talking of, means it's not structurally ordinary, but of course not high rise. It's ordinary structures, but for example, because it's process area, there will be blast resistant requirement, blast resistance requirement, and no blast requirement. Process area would be there, utilities would be there, administrative area would be there, controls would be there, and utilities of utilities, and you can say water circulation with the well, complete trains are the means many trains, process trains means a sequence of many vessels connected together for purpose of process continuation. That's actually called train, is one after another, then after another, according to technological requirement. Various hundreds of vessels are there, hundreds of tanks are there, and various kinds of gas management, boiler management, and various other managements, and centralized contract buildings are there which control our processes. And there, even your rain bars used in foundations are of different nature, because you cannot allow rusting or corrosion on those rebars, and of course you cannot use epoxy coating bars there. In that case, you have to use cathodic protection in those structural members of RCC. And there's a lot of structural steel as well for purpose of light, for purpose of, you can say, sheds are there sometimes, and pipe racks are there, and many more. Means RCC, a combination of RCC and structural steel are manageable years. Of course, pre-stressing is avoided because of certain reasons of durability, or you can say blast environment, and torching is also prohibited there. So that kind of environment where you deal with oil, that I mean to say that's called facility, and that is very big management actually. I cannot say that I can finish that in just a few pages, but at least an understanding can be granted, can be provided to common engineer just to know. I have not been very long on those projects also, but for few years I experienced on LNG project and ethylene cracking, ethylene unit 600 kTA, and of course I've gone through many more documents of contract as well as on specifications dealing with deadlines, and that is different kind of, we're not actually building it's you can say onshore. And I'm not gone through offshore because offshore is completely different, that petrochemical engineers are required, not civil engineers in fact. So I have just gone through that. This is called ISO 9001 2015, NXSL company plus EPC contracting facilities and buildings. This is that template usually of NXSL. What it says, an organization adopts a management system. It's just a, you can say, conventional statement, but better for those refresher. An organization adopts a management system to take care of comfortability, achieving its set objectives, which being in this case winning from certain plant promoting company and EPC contracting for facilities plus related building construction. Management system comprises various sets of procedures for charting out and implementing various operations or activities so as to successfully reach its intended objectives, which lead to enhanced use of resources, improvement on risk management, and increased customer or company satisfaction by meeting product or services expectations. In this case, product is EPC, contracting facilities and buildings construction for certain plants facility, which facility being promoted for implementation, for implementing patented technology through defined chemical process on plants producing required products. Organizations do work on various management systems, say quality management, environment management, safety management, security management, etc. All such systems apply in this case directly as well as indirectly. These various systems in line to ISO 9001-2008 used to work on varying management structures, causing inconveniences to interface with each other. But now all these issues shall be dealt with as framed in a common template. Annex SL being a high-level management system structure has produced a common platform so as all systems that organization adopts can be drawn based on NXSL designs or format. EPC contracting facilities and buildings construction can be easily defined within NXSL format. In this case, intentionally both promoting company and EPC contractor management have been tried to be included on one NXSL format only for purpose of clarity to understand real working on such projects, though practically both promoting company and EPC contractor adopt their respective system separately. Such arrangement provides many commonalities in designing system, implementation, monitoring, evaluation, and improvement by trying to eliminate conflicts that existed within ISO 9001-2008 system. Various stages related EPC contracting facilities and buildings construction can be covered within this NXSL template successfully. All management systems shall have single high-level identical core text with common terms and definitions which can be defined within Annex SL. High-level structure cannot be changed, but discipline-specific subclauses can both can be both added or changed as such. Additions may be made where required related to EPC contracting facilities plus building construction. Annex SL applies to all management systems standards, publicly available specifications and technical specifications, as well as customized requirements. Revised ISO 9001, 14001, and 45001, etc. shall be all based on Annex SL high level structure, where related to, in this case, though not included here. This Annex SL template shown below is only for indicative guidance to apprise an engineer how new system adopted by ISO effective September 2015 work to produce organizational prime quality document which shall govern whole organization quality process required by business, adding accountability shareable by business and technocrat leaders. Wherever and whatever requirements demand, items can be added as sub clauses, but no deletions can be made. Purpose of this template is just to project quality track demanded by ISO 9001-2015 system, which is a mandate published by ISO and without which applications all existing ISO 9001-2008 registered certifications shall stand invalid after 3 years of September, that is 2018 September, is already gone. Therefore, this Annex SL adoption is a must for new quality system operating globally. So we talk clause 1 of this says scope, and that is includes same intended outcome of management system which are industry specific and should be aligned with class 4 context of organization. And what actually it says in this case says, fortunately, now I'll just giving you the reference here. Fortunately, I had an opportunity to work for many years on some petrochemical related projects during my job career in GCC countries, which attained experiences supported me to contemplate few points drawn from such projects. Prior to including scope content, it's preferred to reflect certain basic description about industrial green projects so that it may be supportive to understand for those readers who are not conversant with plant facilities projects, components and requirements. But these descriptions have been drawn from those projects while which we do not have any relation to other projects. Therefore, while dealing with writing context of specific projects only, involved processing trains related to plant facilities, engineering technologies should be included based on company design right, product patent. Such quality objectives of scope is required to be written by company only. Company, as I said, owner or operator, whatever is that. Company herein means an organization which is responsible for this patent product entirely. In all respects, produce feed, FEED, designs, detailing, execute, supervise, approve works, and finally, commission plant based on performance results. On such major project, company is designated as a prime representative of state, or generally such organizations are state owned or could be in status of PPE, but rarely it is PPE. Company awards, designs and execution works to Certain prime contracting organizations on scope status EPC, engineering, procurement, and construction. Prime contractor further sublets civil works, electromechanical, security, CCTV, SCADA, and various other disciplines to approved subcontractors who execute respective discipline in conformance to company and prime contractors' requirements. Company heads act as engineer. Company head of company, I mean to say, acts as engineer to be contractually responsible in all respects. Example for such companies being Qatar Petroleum, Abu Dhabi National Oil Corporation, Aramco, etc. Now, scope backing. An industrial development processing facility formation, how it is done. Let us see. We're talking of facility, scope of that facility. We're calling scope, and I will just like to how to read that. It's necessary in interest of economical development that an industrial project should be efficiently promoted, for industry being backbone of a nation which keeps nation moving forward, improving quality of life of its subjects. Sooner Sooner is industry created, means as soon as you create an industry, better would be prospects for economy in our nation. Therefore, value engineering should efficiently be applied to products and goods proposed to be facilitated to enable consumer be delivered with most economic and quality products. When we talk of industrial development, we target to achieve potential industries for long-term production of intended products that may cost in billions of dollars. Its concept, front-end design, execution would certainly quantify to considerable quality cost and time in every respect. All type of major industries require development in line to meet public or economy requirement of nation or of internations. What class of industries should be promoted for modernization depends on various relevant criteria as well as development value engineering. Oil and gas, power, steel, aluminum, water resources, nuclear energy, and many other infrastructures do require promotion not only for an exclusive sake of commercial business but also for sake of social, economical development and sustainability. It has been tried to include various procedures or steps in common that are required to promote onshore downstream petrochemicals facilities, which is meant for meeting national and international requirements by products extracted out of natural products. It should be kept in view that promotion of certain potential product industry unit is a national planning job which must be based on thorough feasibility studies and research, operational research relevant to long many years consideration. Since promotion of such development affects to some extent utilization of natural resources available within earth store that should not be blindly explored, but a balance must be maintained for future generation to come. Therefore, adopted decisions must be based on certain criteria that available resources may not be exhausted at fast pace by current generation to affirmatively maintain sustainability. Explorations must not be solely destined to just making money out of natural resources. Now, policy decision, authorization, technology promotion. Involved government should promptly work out. No, little, not able to read. Yeah. Involved government should promptly work out relevant policy in a positive manner, for time is extremely important factor that should be used properly to get optimum use of project, provided adequate funds are available within allocation of budget or institutional financial borrowings should be made. Value engineering should be properly studied by experts to reach a conclusion that proposed product shall be processed, imparting no adverse impact to existing environment, shall be most economical in production cost, shall be easy to be transported to consumer, market or end user facility, shall be most economical in production cost, shall be easy to be transported to consumer market or end user facility, shall be most beneficial to national society from every aspect, view of cost and economy uplift, as well as shall promote use of green technology and provide benefits to all people located globally in long run. A right and reliable charter must be constituted at very initial stage of conception for a permanent reference, including various information such as aim, target, policy, political impacts on area and nation, rehabilitation and other bad effects, requirement of additional infrastructures, generations of employment opportunities in both stages of promotion of project as well as its operation and maintenance. Technology stakeholders, current value, earned value, long run value, continuous benefits, expected risks of all sorts, whether or not other alternative products could be promoted to achieve better value engineering. Sustainable development means state of an art technology that has been developed for application on projects which technology does not go against existing requirements and neither impacts adversely on availability of natural resources when future generations may for sure require all such resources. This means that both current and future generations should enjoy availability of all the natural resources as well as friendship with green technologies without compromising with positive effects of nature. Value engineering plays a significant role to many extents when use of technologies promotion is concerned. These could be options as far as technologies are concerned, which which options based on considerable factors and varying aspects would decide which technology application shall deliver better results on proceeds of petrol or product in long term as well as in short term. Short-term facts. Short-term facts could be consideration of land cost, design considerations, construction cost, product environment, friendly impacts, transportation cost, availability of experts and artisans, etc. While long-term considerations would be maintenance cost, life of projects or facility, safety risks involved, public risks involved, future availability of alternative land, alternative easy and economical technology that we currently under research stage. Facility requirements. Now actually we start composition of the plant, its components, organs of say value engineering based effect application, value engineering based effective application, effective technology, product and user requirement, necessity, approval and financing, international competition, cost effectiveness, safe, safety, health and environment, tenability, sustainability. Should these points be met by proposal, project may be given a go-ahead subject to meeting other engineering criteria. Engineering factor has been included into plan consideration with full integrity and incorporation of provisions in line with national and international policy. For such evolutionary developments, there remains no meaning to delay projects, but projects initiation by charter authorization by respective stakeholders should be done. Finances have to be allocated to statutory requirements, give a finances are to be allocated to statutory requirements to give a go-ahead to various phases or stages of project development so that delivery are made in defined time for following up operations for consumers on and grid. Since facilities demand incorporation of inputs from various disciplines, incorporation of inputs from various disciplines, personal materials and equipment may be kept in consideration for a final start. Facilities justification and feasibility. Mm, I think. Environmental sustainability, cost viability in long term, nationally beneficial to add to economic growth, multi-purpose approach and creation of employment, casual as well as regular. I think I should stand it alone. Stand it. Environment sustainability, let me read like this one. Environment sustainability, cost viability on long term, nationally beneficial to add to economic growth, multi-purpose approach and creation of employment, casual as well as regular, export potential of product, processing technology and availability of raw or natural resources materials, adequacy of availability of terrain and routes, selection of planning and execution mode, availability of expertise and experts along with all other interrelated professionals, availability of all human and all other resources, availability of human and all other resources, their original sources, international agreements for bilateral trades with producing nations, finalization of design rights, copyrights, process technology license, agreement on various contract forms, adoption, agreements on the international workforce migration for projects, public-private participation or government responsibility or international joint ventures, availability of relevant trade zones based on subsidy for industrial promotion, in general public interest for long-term construction and operations, certainly certainty of returns by reliable proceeds after a defined set of years, or an assessed duration, after which investment is made an asset for remaining life of plant facility. Components, elements of certain processing facility, inclusions in general, availability of natural gas or oil fields, from where natural resources are being tapped out from offshore locations of various seabeds, founded rigging platforms, allowing risers, leading pipes to upstream onshore slug tanks. Availability of all well-equipped facilities of shipment, platforms, injections and risers for raw oil delivery from seabed. Availability of land for required downstream processing area onshore with acceptable terrain that may be used for operating complete chemical process, engineering applications used on well-designed trains, as well as transportation of proceeds of processed products and by products to specifically located outlets leading to consumers' locations. Plant processing scheme and technology both for greenfield and brownfield, supported with authorization by legal license valid for defined period. Liquefied natural gas LNG tanks made of cryogenic steel, RCC or PSC containments with spillage and other components, etc., for storage purpose at considerable minus temperature. Plant processing trains, elements complete with detailed descriptions of heavy or light industrial equipment. Utilities areas, elements for utility areas, elements for integration with plant equipment, off-sites elements for sub-assistance to aforesaid, intake piping system, arrangements for circulation and delivery into plant equipment for cooling processes or applications, seawater basin for storage of seawater to be used for cooling purpose during various processes, delivery of cooling water to plant and then recirculation for further cycle of process cooling, piping, pipe supports, pipe sleepers and pipe racks for product transportation and relevant handling operational activities, service air and instrument air circulation piping, chlorination plant with complete systems package for purpose of chlorinating water for supplies to plant use, storage and warehousing for physical handlings of subsidiaries, drainage infrastructure from plant to receiving basin and then to outfall structure through discharge channels duly provided with metal lugs and channels. Ditches completely lined to convey out of to final discharge stormwater from various catchments areas of plant facility. Complete package drainage system for oily water, acid water, dusty water, sewage, etc. that comprises of hundreds of RCC manholes, many kilometers of pipelines connection with such manhole and chambers leading to disposing to sewage treatment plant STPs. Water line for whole site for various purposes, including loss prevention, that is fire suppression, firefighting with fresh water as well as with backup seawater supply from seawater reservoir or elsewhere. Sorry. Cooling water line provision throughout whole industrial area zone, taking in water from intake at sea, supplying to industries and then through return headers, discharging to sea directly after being supplied once, as well as employing cooling water system technology to recirculate used water while only makeup water to be supplied. Pipe supports, pipe anchors, general anchors, big anchors, thrust blocks placed at various defining spacings. Pipe supports to be connected to sleepers and direct supports using structural steel connections for both direct clamping as well as achieving sliding action to make up for expansion, which supports are often considerably heavy units for considerable size considerable size of pipe. Electrical heat tracing electrical heat tracing provision for piping system carrying minus temperature liquid or gas to keep maintain pipe on required temperature so as not allowing freezing of material. For example, sulfur gas can freeze within pipeline. Heat tracing works dedicatedly encompassing pipes. Heat tracing works dedicatedly encompassing pipes, transferring thermal energy to pipe and then to internal available gas at minus temperature so that gas does not freeze in pipe but keeps on flowing at a specified temperature and velocity. Non-blast buildings such as administration as well as amenities buildings, elements for facilitating operation and maintenance as well as consumer supply. Reset stations that should contain various offices with access control. Electrical main station, substations, switch gears, package substations, pump houses, guard houses, visitors areas, rising main units, transformers, heavy duty armored cables, centralized control to all such supporting on-site or off-site buildings for electrical distribution system and security system. Blast building such as centrally controlled as well as operations buildings to control whole plants operations from one single location monitoring all engineering disciplines, plant surveillance 24 hours into 7 days a week, consumer receipt stations to be used by consumer delivery control located at gatehouse, intake pump houses and other processing pump houses at various locations duly integrated for controls all over plant facility. Water retaining structures such as below ground sumps, receiving basins, drainage channels, outfall discharge to sea, site security arrangements, fencing, surveillance by installation of CCTV with state-of-art technology, site telecommunications of all sorts for efficient use by operating personnel available in all security zones, spread over entire facility. All loss prevention arrangements including internal and external firefighting, all arrangements to cater for fire emergency, blast emergency or seismic emergency. Fire tender specific fire tender station is significant to cater for this facility. Adequacy of plant and non-plant area of roads and pavement, maintenance tracks, road crossings, utility crossings, road culverts, pipe culverts, transit manholes, controlled defensive traffic movement and circulation, etc. Soil erosion protection for all machines and equipment so that all these equipment should not get damaged due to possible negative impact by heavy duty laden storms. Soil erosion protection for all machines and equipment so that all these equipment should not get damaged due to possible negative impact by heavy dust laden storms. Facility by products, plants and extensions and all required elements for that. All related civil engineering discipline structures for buildings, sheds, equipment, vessels as well as other processing and non-processing equipment. Vessels such as cracking furnace, wash water structures, cracked gas compressor, propane compressor, ethane compressor, boilers, auxiliary boilers, various types of spheres, steel tanks, fuel towers, rotary equipment, reciprocating equipment, etc., shall be made part of plant with necessary foundations for these elements or components to be constructed in line according to defined requirement. Massive concrete blocks shall be required for many such major foundations to found for heavy vessels. Civil engineering foundations structural requirement shall vary from simple machine plinth to independent footings to combined footings to stiff footings to raft and piles as well as massive block foundations. Concrete shall generally be low heat producing cement based manufactured by using microsilica or GGBS ground granulated blast surface slag replacement cement up to 70% extent and also pulverized fly ash PFA cement replacement. Supporting bases of pipe racks may be allowed either by steel structure or RCC construction. Foundations of pipe rack shall generally be of RCC bases or independent footings. Overhead crossings shall be required at many locations for various en route piping to jump over existing plant circulation roads. Such overhead crossings could be constructed using structural steel, cathodic protection, both critical and non-critical requirement for centralized corrosion control of plant reinforcement from a central control sacrificial anode station shall also be provided for long-term corrosive monitoring and controls respecting reinforcing bars. Earthing provision for all individual structures, equipment as well as network. Colored green, red, etc. covered cable trenches RCC vault buried directly to ground or cable duct shall also be included in design forming a major part of certain facility. These ducts shall be coordinated to various interface crossing requiring site resolutions to protect plant supporting services interface clashes. Heavy duty concrete pavement shall be provided in all plant areas for required purpose if its maintenance respecting machines as well as movement of heavy vehicles. On other areas where no pavement is included, stone aggregate shall be spread and compacted to avoid soil adverse impact effect on all such vessels or equipment. In addition, all important administration areas shall be allowed an attractive soft and hard landscape architectural provision. Access security arrangement shall also be made with automatic controls using card, reader or fingerprints scanning etc. and installation of CCTV for continuous control and records. Inclusion of flare towers and radio masts is also contemplated. Process areas means areas within which chemical trains work to run defined technology to work over adopted process. Non-process areas are those which are outside limits of process areas and support process areas. Administration areas means that where are accommodated buildings and required facilities to meet plants' demands for administrative and maintenance support. Administration areas may comprise of administration building, amenities building, warehouse, stores, fire stations, etc. All structures of whatever materials are designated blast resistant buildings which are located within process areas means blast resistant buildings must be there. All structures of whatever materials are designated blast resilient buildings which are located in 200-meter range from process area. This is blast resilient building. Before was blast resistant building in process area and 200 meters of process area. Within that range must be blast resilient building. All other structures of whatever materials are located away from 200-meter process area to within 600 meter range are designated non-blast structures. Now, component briefs. Let us start LNG tank components. These components are meant to store liquefied natural gas, say 80,000 cubic meter capacity each within cryogenic steel tank. A RCC with pre-stress arrangement for cables structure of about say 80 meter dia, say 800 thick wall, RCC wall, as well as provided with a height of say 50 meters. It was included for LNG spillage prevention. Each tank base was allowed soil improvement below ground by many meters, including many meters depth of granular engineered fill in layers, thickness of fill not exceeding more than 200 each. RCC raft foundation was laid in improved fill, pre-engineered formation after ensuring achievement of required design safe bearing capacity. Top of tank was covered with a permanent formed cupola structure raised to its level by using compressed air pressure lifting. Cryogenic steel was included for construction of LNG tank to maintain about minus 60 degrees Celsius temperature of condensed gas. Concrete of circular walls was poured using quick form proprietary custom designed formwork in 5 meters lifts each. A cantilever operational platform was constructed on cupola edge as protrusion horizontally. An on-site designed plumbing system was erected temporarily for conducting or carrying out concrete curing activity throughout on full height of tank to cover all vertical areas for curing. Each LNG tank was provided with a RCC spillage below ground tank externally. Now we'll talk of compressors foundation. It was before LNG. Now we talk of compressor foundation. It's a part of ethylene project. Ethylene. Compressors are to be installed as part of various processing trains for ethylene production unit. Being heavy reciprocating machines to be installed on massive foundations at elevated levels, tabletops would be constructed resting on massive concrete foundation. Foundation concrete for one cracking gas compressor being say 400 cubic meter about say 25 meter long, say 20 meter wide, as well as say 2 meters deep, well designed machine foundation for a reciprocating vibratory equipment. This foundation carries thick columns. Thick member means section size more than 0.8 meters and quantity more than 8 cubic meters, about to support tabletop. Steel plate built inserted. Steel plate built inserted between equipment and epoxy grout. Tabletops are constructed of thick framed slabs resting on thick columns. Planned arrangements of tabletop slabs are complicated in all respects regarding civil as well as mechanical inserts. Such types of thick and massive elements require a special type of cement, probably with high GGBS cement replacement, which could also be pulverized fly ash or microsilica or silica fumes. Particular arrangements are worked out for curing solutions for such low heat generating cements to affect thermal curing methods, utilizing no direct contact with curing water, but thermal curing methods. It should be made clear that foundation block is massive concrete and may not be misunderstood as mass concrete. Massive block is higher in status than thick element. Massive block requires a special method for pouring concrete as well as post-concrete pour thermal curing, which means that water should not be used in direct contact with concrete, such as flooding, but evaporation volumes released by concrete should not be allowed to leave concrete but cure concrete by use of thermal energy. Pouring of such massive block should be conducted by step formation during pouring operation without formation of cold joint, not allowing evaporation and using this evaporation do curing is named thermal method of curing. Now cracked gas furnace, cracking gas furnaces. This meant for purpose of cracking gas received from refinery as byproduct for transmission to compressors for production of ethane as well as propane. These are tall, heavy structures, vertically oriented in group of vessels and founded on a common base. Other structures included wash water structure, auxiliary boilers within processing trains, also included various vessels such as spheres to contain gases as well as tanks for storage. Foundations for tanks are generally constructed of RCC ring beams. Other structures are generally provided with independent footings stepped using grade beams. Seawater basin for cooling water storage and circulation. A RCC open reservoir meant to continuously collect water from sea through say 2 number 84 inches pipes stored in this reservoir, supply to plant various trains requirements, and after cooling installed system use water to be disposed of from various industrial locations to this receiving basin and then further to outfall chamber should this water may not be used for process unit system cooling. It's a huge voluminous open structure constructed of RCC based slabs provided various contraction and construction joints during its execution site construction, peripheral retaining walls up to 12-meter high, not more than 9-meter length of panels, as well as covered pump house unit area and baffles. Such structures must be watertight effectively from all locations of water storage portions, duly tested for water tightness, conforming to BS8007 criteria or applicable Euro code. Ensure Euro code water retaining structures references BS structure related codes have been stopped. Well, now it's change again, being referred to since year 2010 now is again back, I think, because Brexit. Because of Brexit, concrete protection is applied for both. Sorry. Concrete protection is applied for both below ground as well as above ground RCC surfaces. Testing would be little cumbersome for many days and factor to be used for computing evaporation losses was complicated since no pertinent standard data being available for testing evaporation. A parallel arrangement as a device has to be arranged to observe real evaporation loss model, result of which could be applied to reservoir evaporation observations. Many days are involved from start of water filling, autonomous healing of surfaces, and then performing stage-wise applicable water tightness testing. It could amount to 2 to 3 weeks for testing performance, and if results being satisfactory, removal of water from the reservoir, or otherwise, after removal of water, making repairs of water leakage as recorded by an application of resin injection to epoxy repairs, followed by another water tightness testing for final observation of leakage or formal verification of produced water tightness, watertight concrete. Many other stationary as well as vibratory equipments are included for processing plants for which foundations would be constructed accordingly, either as footing bases or combined footings. These horizontal or vertical vessels are erected on these bases, connected using anchor bolts and grouting done between sighting steel plate and top of concrete. For vibratory equipment, epoxy grouting is applied, while for stationary equipment, cement-based grouting is suitable. Sump chambers. These covered chambers are used for collection of water from various catchment areas and constructed of RCC underground structures, duly tested for water tightness using BS 8007 criteria, refer to note as given earlier for seawater base. Okay. Concrete protection is applied for both below ground as well as above ground surfaces. Manholes, catch basins, rainwater ditches, etc. are constructed using RCC materials. Manholes are meant for sewerage line, oily manholes for oily discharge, catch basins for rainwater. Generally, these units would be provided in large numbers for certain plant area, making it preferable to produce by precasting on site, for which all working details for proposed yard are required to be issued to site. Working details for each manhole to be precast is coordinated and sketches prepared showing plan, all internal side elevations, locations of cutouts for incoming and outgoing pipes, and shown real dimensions with details related to its cover and cover framing, along with locations of embedded steps in walls, if so required, depending on internal depth of manhole. Open ditches are constructed for discharge of storm water. These ditches can also be used for purpose to give way to fire water disposal during whatever fire break out on installation. Ditches may also be used for demanded purpose of intended water line maintenance, discharge received from some single loop. At commencement, ditches section is considered shallow But as it reaches moving within various catchment areas, ditch section is gradually and considerably deepened, like resembling a big city drain. Piping. Carbon, carbon steel or ductile iron or fiber reinforced plastic family GRP, ERP, GRE, etc. are included depending on requirement and structural adequacy to sustain various impossible stresses. Stress analysis is carried out for various loops, giving locations of various supports as well as anchoring requirement. Various types of supports are designed for varying diameter of pipes for on-ground or underground or above-ground use. Now, FRP, fiber reinforced plastic pipes. RTRP. RTRP stands for reinforced thermosetting resin pipe, a composite material consisting of a thermosetting polymer, a type of polyester reinforced with glass or other fibers that provide strength and stiffness to a composite material. Different types of resins used for manufacturing GRP, GRV, and GRE pipes are isophthalic resin, vinyl ester resin, and epoxy resin, respectively, that are selected according to required properties such as chemical resistance, temperature resistance, and other mechanical properties. Resins provide thermal and chemical properties such as glass transition temperature, resistance to heat, chemical resistance, etc. required for finished product. Properties of GRP pipes can be varied by changing ratio of raw materials as well as winding angle. These pipes consist of 3 layers adherent to each, having different characteristics in relation to functional requirement. Particular information layers for reference only. Inner liner is wheel glass, resin CSM glass, resin. So it is inner one liner, wheel is glass, resin CSM glass, resin. Structural wall, which is roaming, is glass, resin, and external liner is a wheel, glass, resin. This is just for information. Composition: inner liner, wheel, glass, resin, CSM glass, resin. Inner liner layer is chemical resistant due to remaining in direct contact with fluid and therefore responsible to resist chemical corrosion as well as permeability. Internal surface is particularly smooth to reduce fluid head losses and also opposes growth of mineral and algae. Two liner. This liner has two monolithic sublayers. Inner one in contact with fluid is reinforced with glass wheel with resin content 90%, while outer one reinforced with CSM glass with resin content 70% by weight. Standard liner thickness is about 0.5 to 1.5 mm. Structural wall, rowing glass resin. Glass reinforced layers guarantee mechanical resistance of whole pipe against stresses due to internal and external pressure, external loads as well as thermal loads. For GRV pipes, this layer is obtained by applying on previous party cured inner liner continuous rowing of glass wetted with resin under controlled tension. For GRE pipes, structural wall is wound directly on wet liner. This layer can contain aggregates like silica, sand, if allowed by specifications, while thickness depends on design conditions. External liner, wheel, resin, top coat or external liner is an outer layer of pipe consisting of pure resin. Ultraviolet protectors may be added if so required to protect pipe from effects of solar exposure. In case of meeting severe exposure condition such as aggressive soil or very corrosive environment, this external liner can be reinforced with a surfing wheel or added with filters or pigments. Fiberglass composites consist of glass fiber, reinforcements, thermosetting resins, and additives, designed and processed to meet specific functional performance criteria. General amount, type, and orientation of glass fibers in pipe provide mechanical strength. C glass, E glass, and ECR Advantex glass are used commonly depending on pipe application. Various forms of glass reinforcements are named as surface real, chopped strand, matte CSM, chopped roving, filament roving, and woven roving WR. Raw materials like catalysts, accelerators, inhibitors, aggregates, and pigments are used together with resin and glass reinforcements to achieve desired properties of fiberglass product. Catalyst is an organic compound which, when added to resin in presence of an accelerator, determines polymerization reaction at ambient temperature. Accelerator is a chemical compound used together with a catalyst to shorten polymerization time. Inhibitor is added to resin to reduce reactivity at ambient temperature. There are two manufacturing processes, one being dual helical filament winding process and another being continuous winding process, Drossthal. Pipe racks, few minutes more, are used for required purpose of running piping from one point to other over ground levels. These are generally constructed of steel structures founding on RCC footings, but RCC frame structures are also used or included. Several kilometers of pipes are run over these racks, supported and anchored to rack structures. These are fully accessible structures for maintenance purpose. Open steel or plastic flooring is provided on decking. Heat tracing. Heat tracing is applied on piping carrying -degree gas in liquid state, which may freeze during its flow and block flow within pipes, for protection of which heat is continuously maintained on piping to keep born carried gas in condensed form. Various tools are provided on piping routes for various purposes. Pipe support and sleepers. These are for purpose of carrying pipes at near ground levels. These are RCC units located at defined spacing. For direct support of pipes, steel structural supports are employed, remaining either connected or touching pipe by shoes over lengths at various spacings, meant for purpose of sliding alone. For deciding locations of such supports and their anchorages, stress analysis is conducted, which dictates required design spacing, dimensions, and pipe structural base design. For a pipe of dia not more than 4 meters, not more than 12-meter spacing is generally adopted. For other smaller dia pipes, spacing depends on standard length of pipes. Pipes that need sliding movement at joints are provided with such a base that allows movement of pipe in direction of its run. For that purpose, PTFE polytetrafluoroethylene bearings fixed on steel plates duly designed to withstand imposed forces are provided. Below pipe support shoe steel portion, a stainless steel plate is provided so that this plate slides over PTFE pads. Pipe supporting sleepers. Anchor sleepers. There are anchor sleepers, big sleepers, thrust blocks, etc. are employed at various points or locations depending on stress analysis requirement on en route pipeline. These are thick and voluminous structures requiring thousands cubic meter RCC for an individual sleeper connecting a group of pipes. On pipe loops, various kinds of stresses from all directions are imposed upon during operations of flows which are registered by these sleepers. At change in direction of pipe routes as well as at T locations, etc., big sleepers or thrust blocks are provided to register resultant forces. These sleepers are constructed as RCC massive blocks. Access platforms. Access platforms are constructed to access to an area above pipe level for maintenance purpose. EOT cranes, are installed for such maintenance as well as lifting and placing pipes and other operating items in shops. These also meet crossing over pipe requirements. Proper ladders, handrails, and open flooring are provided for safe access. RCC box culverts are included for various crossing pipes below roads, road crossings. Pipe culverts are also included wherever required. For accommodation of spillage tanks, embankments is constructed around to hold, contain oil during spillage. Pipes are connected to culverts base slab using steel connecting arrangements. Enough space is allowed for maintenance purpose, for free movement as well as for circulation. Receiving basins. How many pages? No. Receiving basin is meant for collection of used water from processing units for intended purpose to further discharge into provided outfall at sea. This basin is also given a considerable structural size for collecting water from various returning pipes, headers, discharge, letting it accumulate and then dispose into outfall channel for further permanent discharge into sea. Various types of steel stop locks are installed to control flow according to provided capacity of channel and receiving basin, keeping abreast all relevant maintenance functions of provided piping. The structure consists of RCC retaining walls in flow direction and RCC base slabs. Flow towers are required to establish a system to be disposed safely into environment released gases that cannot be used any further. Let me repeat. Flare towers are required to establish a system to be disposed safely into environment released gases that cannot be used any further, keeping in view that composition effect of such disposable gas does not deteriorate existing environment. Height of such towers is kept considerable so that gases are burnt away into environment safely. Proper arrangements are designed for founding as well as checking stability of such tall structures. It's long document actually, only 5 pages. I think I've gone of 80, 90 pages are there. And this explanation is for a big plant. There's different kind of structures. As I said before, process area, non-process area, utilities area, electrical cabling areas, road areas, administration areas. You may say maybe 1.5 kilometer into 1.5 kilometer, 2 kilometer into 1.5 kilometer, such a vast area. It's like industrial city because it's one of those, and there are so many other plants in the same area. So it requires big coordination, and it's not easy. In fact, coordination is very important. When I saw there millions of cubic meters of backfill in that area, millions of cubic meter backfill for claiming that area was done, and hundreds of machines were there, and of course with thousands of people working there, many nationalities, many peoples. When I was dealing with that, you can say 40 foremen were there on same site, and it's very hodgepodge if you do not organize it correctly. I issued many hundreds site technical queries. There was so much confusion, so many design changes, so much important. So it's not that easy or comfortable work. Means until end when you do concreting, you are not sure there will be change in design of foundation. And this happened many times. Many times it happened. You are ready to concrete, there was change or stop this and this change in design. And you could do nothing because it's a big machine. It happens on such projects. These are different type of projects. Means 100,000 cubic meter of foundation concrete was there. 100,000. And forget about other concrete, building concrete, all those things. Foundation concrete, and in some cases, it was not that, but you will find much more concrete than this, where big rafts are there. I'll continue with this annex cell, which is different world now. It's not like before, because it requires so much work on behalf of your consultancy or contracting, whatever you are. You have to record all these issues for future as well, not only for project which is in current order. Also, it should be for future, because lessons learned are very small. It means technical queries, engineering queries, method statements, quality ITPs, quality checklist, and many more. Working statements, real programs, planning programs, I will say quantification, contact issues. So much is there, and it's difficult for them to find right people for right job. That's also a question. Engineers run away from office job. This is very common. I have seen all nationalities, not only ours, all nationalities. They run away from office job. They are happy to stand on site in some cases and enjoy, because they are getting everything done. Means coordination they are getting from office, engineering they are getting from drawings, updated drawings are good. They even fabrication of reinforcement bars they are getting from yards, and shutting is done from distant yards. Means they are just using construction, quality guys using quality, planning guys using planning. Isolation of activities but no coordination. Requirement is coordination. If all activities are separately done, individually done, and they're not talking to each other, they talk at current hour, it doesn't mean anything. You have to be ready at right time, and that's the result. Projects are delayed or done wrongly. It happens. Concrete is done, but we have to break again. It breaks means, oh, there's some error in this, we have to break it, and they don't mind. They break it. I have seen them break. Means okay, let it go, no problem. We have plenty of money on this project and good rates we have. So if 1 cubic meter, 2 cubic meter, 3, always no problem, not at all. What to do? Project like that, designs are not available sometimes, and let us say okay, we design, and they practice a design environment. Don't do it. It's only for information we give design. It's only for this. It's only for that. That way, these designers from whatever countries, they may be from England, they may be from France, they may be from whatsoever, they don't mind. Okay, we'll give at. We don't know machine. Which machine is going to be used? We are not sure about that. We are not having parameters of that machine. We don't have any RPMs. It is what weight it is and how much. These are excuses they give, and maybe these are not excuses. They are reality of life. Means they do like that. So It is not as easy. It was, well, I don't know what the stage now. I was talking long back, but still the industry is same. There is no change. It's further dropping because of advancement of technology and computer use. People are keeping off from detailed studies. That's happening. People don't get fit documents. People don't get specifications. People don't design, and they don't write method statement, which is very important. That's what we are suffering, and people don't know what to do. They are on site, they know what to do. Well, I'll take it later on. SL this continue this long document, then I'll take about design and supervision after this. And let me close it now. It's already more than 3.5 hours in this case. So I take closer of this. Thank you very much, gentlemen.